SkyLee, licensed master and medical esthetician in Arizona, as well as a licensed instructor. I have been licensed over 9.5 years, and all the time I get questions from clients just about skincare and how to take care of their skin, how to correct a problem. So I thought, let's just go ahead and answer some of these questions. So, welcome to the first installment of Question Mark Mondays with the Master Esthetician. This is my amazing best friend and personal assistant who also handles my social media, Laura. She is also an esthetician, and she's going to be asking me some questions that have been submitted by clients and friends and people that are just wanting to know things. So what's our first question today?
All right, so the first question is, I recently saw an SPF 100 that was twice as much as an SPF 30. Is it worth it?
That is a good question because there's so many sunblocks out there and there's so many different types of sunblocks out there. I'm going to tell you right now, an SPF of 100 is essentially maybe 0.5% better than an SPF of 30. There is absolutely no need to go over an SPF of 50 because at that point you're just paying money for a marketing gimmick. And honestly, it's more about looking for the ingredients of the sunblock rather than the SPF of the sunblock. If you find yourself a really good SPF 30 or 50 that contains zinc or titanium oxide, that's going to be your best bet. If you find one that's chemically based like oxybenzone, avobenzene, just all kinds of weird chemical names, those do not work as well as the physicals and they cause more reactions in the skin. So I'm going to say just find, like I said, a 30 or 50 with zinc and titanium and you'll be golden. And if it's at least 5% of those ingredients, it's going to work better, definitely. So yeah, what's our next one?
Right, so the next one is, does it matter what order I apply my products in?
Absolutely, absolutely. Different products are meant to penetrate or even not penetrate and just glide across the surface of skin. So depending on how you order them is how well they're going to work and what they're going to do. Cleanser obviously always will go first. It glides across the skin, removes the dirt, the oil, the makeup, that sort of thing. It can contain some other things to help with skin challenges, but it's not meant to penetrate into the layers of skin. Then you can tone, which I always say is optional. With cleansers nowadays, they don't strip the skin like they used to. So toners are not as important. They're great if they contain other things that help the skin, like brighteners, tighteners, things like that. Exfoliation, of course, is going to come afterwards because it's going to remove that dead skin or dissolve that dead skin, which allows other products to penetrate. So always, doing your exfoliation. And then after that, you have your serums. There's water-based, there's oil-based. If you're using more than one, your water-based is going to go before your oil-based. The reason being, there's different molecule sizes when it comes to products. If you're putting a large molecule on first and then you attempt to put a small molecule, it can't get through. So you always want to go from smallest to largest. So water-based serum, then oil-based serum, then your eye cream is always going to come after your serums, no matter if it's a thin or thick eye cream. And then your moisturizer is going to be your last step at night. During the day, you'll moisturize, and then your sunblock is always going to be your last step. If you are putting makeup on, you have to make sure your moisturizer and your sunblock dries completely before you put makeup on, especially sunblock, because if it is not dry and you start mixing your moisture, your foundation with your sunblock, it's going to dilute the sunblock because anytime water hits the sunblock, it will cause it to be less effective. So absolutely, the order matters.
Yes, great question. Okay, last one is, do all forms of vitamin A work the same, like i.e. retinol, Accutane, and Retin-A?
No. There are different percentages and there are different derivatives or forms of vitamin A. You've got Accutane, which is going to be your most intense. That's the one that's going to cause the most problems with skin. It's the one you have to have a doctor's prescription to be on, and you have to go through rigorous liver tests and blood work and all kinds of crazy things because it is such a high dose of vitamin A. You're, in a sense, almost poisoning your body, and it's only a temporary fix. I guarantee you, I have not met one person yet that could not be helped by facials and home care and diet with acne. Like Accutane, everyone jumps to it first because it's easy, and doctors, that's what they're there for. They prescribe medication. They don't know a ton about ingredients or diet, things like that. It's just not where their focus is. So, I mean, I can go on about that forever. But yes, different forms. I will tell you the most gentle and effective form of vitamin A is retinaldehyde. It is a derivative of retinoic acid, but the great thing is generally retinaldehyde is encapsulated in like a little oil sphere. So it's gonna go deeper down into your skin before it releases. It's not gonna cause that surface tension and redness, irritation, flaking, dryness that other retinols and retin-A's cause, but it's still gonna give you those awesome results. I've used a retinaldehyde, and so have you, right? For the last, I don't even know how many years, twice a day, and I could still wax, I could still, if I wanted to, dermaplane or chemical peel, any of that, without any type of problems, because that vitamin A is deeper and it's working lower levels rather than sitting on the surface and causing all that irritation. So there's 2 companies I know of, I'm sure there's more, but 2 that I've worked with that have great retinaldehydes. There is Rhonda Ellison, got some good products, and then of course my love, Dr. Ben Johnson's Osmosis Skincare, which is what I use in my practice. It is phenomenal, and there's different levels that he makes as well. So you can work your way up, or depending on your challenges is what percentage you'll use. So yes, that was my rant on vitamin A.
It was a good rant. It was
Yeah,
a good
no.
rant.
I will do this every week. I've had a lot of questions submitted to me, and you know, I'm going to tell you right now, there's so many estheticians and skincare professionals out there. We are not all created equal, and I'm not talking badly about anyone, but most of our knowledge and experience comes from experience. And I've been doing this a really, really long time, and I've seen so many different clients in different ages and genders and genetic backgrounds, and so, you know, I am able to speak on a lot of these topics, and I teach them every single day, all day. I teach other people how to be estheticians. So I do have the knowledge, and you know, I try to really do my research before I answer things, and I try to make sure I test things out before I, you know, market them or promote them to other people. So be careful who you're taking advice from, because it's really easy to get your aesthetic license. I mean, not super easy, but I mean, it requires hours and taking a test. It doesn't require a certain number of people worked on or challenges dealt with. So just, you know, ensure that whoever you're taking advice from has really done their research and put in their time and their effort, and you know, they know what they're talking about. If you have questions, definitely submit them to me. I would love to answer them. If you disagree with anything I say, I would love to hear about that too, and we can discuss it. I'm always open to hearing other people's opinions. You will find that estheticians definitely have a lot of opinions, and we all have different philosophies and backgrounds. So subscribe if you want to hear some more. You'll get questions every week, and hopefully you'll be able to learn something more about your skin. Thank you.